Hi, everybody, and welcome to Evolve Love. I am your host, Amanda, and I am so happy that you have found this podcast. Are you looking for daily inspiration, motivation, and wisdom to help you begin your day feeling supported and uplifted with love? Well, you have come to the right place. This podcast is a space of encouragement where you can be held in your self-development because in order to evolve, you need love, and it begins here with you. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome to this Venus Day episode on Evolve Love. I hope that you all have been having a beautiful week. I hope that this week has brought you more awareness of presence and more connection to the needs of self, because I feel when we are working in present energy that we really do tap into what our intuition, what our inner knowing is telling us that we so deeply need. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how to bring more beauty to the normal aspects of your day. And I don't know what else to call it, because I don't want to call it boring, because this might not necessarily be boring, but the day-to-day items that you always do. The monotonous items, the chores that just continue. You do the laundry, but guess what? Another basket fills up. It's a perpetual cycle. And this is something that can feel and become daunting for us. I know personally for me, it can be incredibly daunting, because I just feel like I want to check the list off. I want it to all be done. I want to be able to just put my feet up and that's the end of the day. But the reality is that because we are living and thriving and having joyful, filled lives, these particular items are going to continue. There are always meals that are going to need to be made. There are always dishes that will need to be done. The trash will need to be taken out. The laundry will need to be done. The house will need to be cleaned. I don't want to overwhelm you with all the tasks, but this is the truth of our daily life. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up too is because this week we've been talking about daydream energy and how it can pull us sometimes from this state and create a level of unhappiness. So when we are in these tasks that I have termed as normal tasks, sometimes it can become overwhelming because we think, I need to get this done so that I can then be able to do this. And therefore, we're not really with the task we're in. And so how can we make this experience more beautiful? So things like cooking meals, doing laundry, doing dishes, the daily tasks, how can we bring more beauty to this? And I think an important notion for myself that I realized when scrolling, because, I'm still scrolling, trying to cut back a little bit. I can't believe that's a problem of our generation. If you had told me as a high school or middle school student, yeah, there's going to be this thing and you're just going to want to scroll through it and take in everybody's content, I would have been so confused, because that was not a thing growing up, right? So anyways, in my scrolling, I saw this reel and it was a reminder of all of these things, these normal tasks, these were things that we used to play and imagine as young children. So the little girl playing house, you are now that little girl playing house. And this was something that you dreamed of. Did you play with dolls? Did you have a kitchen set? Did you play school? Did you do things that felt really connected to maybe what is a part of your daily life now? And now we look at it so differently. We look at cleaning up our kitchen with nowhere near the same excitement and reverence that we did as a young child. And I want to bring some of that back. I want to bring that beauty back to it because, like I said, sometimes I can let all of these items completely and totally overwhelm myself. And because we know that these tasks are never going to fully be done, it's a reminder that the reason we have these tasks is because we are living a life well lived. We got our clothes dirty. We got to wash them. We had a beautiful meal with our family. We got to clean them. We are cooking a meal with incredible food that we were able to bring into our house. How grateful are we? And I know sometimes this concept can actually feel a little triggering, because I remember when I first kind of was introduced to this concept of like bringing more beauty into your normal tasks, and I couldn't get to that stage yet. I couldn't be there. I was so like in the, oh my God, I can't believe I have to do this right now. Or like, oh, geez, like this took up an hour of my day that I could have spent doing this. And instead look at how lucky am I that I get to do this, that I have all the things the little girl self that I was, am able to do now. Like, here I am. And so some different ways is just that perspective shift right there. And instead of, when we're doing these tasks, daydreaming about the things that we wish we were doing, feeling the gratitude for what we are doing now. I think that's like a really beautiful thing and a really beautiful practice. Other things you could do just to make it more fun is, like playing music. What's funny is I can't remember what week it was, but one of the episodes I talked about making like a soundtrack for your day. Think about when you watch a TV show or you watch a movie, and it's like they have this soundtrack that goes around so beautifully with what's going on, right? And also, I tell my dancers all the time, like the music adds to the emotion so much, to the point where if you watch that same movie and pulled all the music out, your emotional reaction most likely would not be anywhere near as close as it is had it been for the music being in it. And the same thing could happen with our life. Could you make yourself feel like you are, the main character of your own movie? Put on some music, create the playlist for your day, just adding this into your normal tasks. So you're not just doing the laundry, but right now you're in this amazing movie moment where we are like flipping the laundry before we get to the next fun, exciting part of our day, or whatever it is, So music can go a long way. It can really change the mood. It can change the tone. But for me, sometimes I get really overstimulated, and additional sound is not something that works for me. So sometimes just being in the silence of the task at hand, or in my head, like thinking about what I am doing. So like when I'm doing the dishes, I'm thinking about the meal that I got to have on them. I'm thinking about the time that I spent with the people that I was eating that meal with, things like that. And just, again, bringing like another level of gratitude to it. In our day, if we're going about and we're like cleaning the house and stuff, making sure you're taking the time to nourish yourself. Can you make your water, because let's be honest, we got to hydrate, right? Can you make your water feel fancy? Could you create like a spa water situation, like with cucumbers and mint, or like some smashed berries, or I don't know, like you could look online probably for some kind of recipe of like how to infuse your water, how to, bring it alive a little bit. In my Leo season newsletter, I shared one of my favorite products in the summer. It's like a cold water tea infusion, because I'm not always one to want a hot tea in the summer, but these are like ones that you can do with cold water. And I think Bigelow makes it. Bigelow. And it's so good. It like adds just like a little bit of something to the water where it makes me want to continue drinking the water. But it feels fancy. Okay. Can you also, have moments in your day where like you're taking the time with, when you are sitting down to meals, to like make a beautiful experience for yourself? Can you light a candle? Can you, kind of put your plate together in a way that feels pretty? Can you add a lot of color? I love hearing about like people talk about like the nutrition of different colors of food, and like the nourishment value of like, what is within it to create like a colorful meal. I think that's such like a fun idea. And like this could be really fun with your kids too. Like if you have children, I feel like I saw it somewhere. It was like a rainbow plate of things. Where was it? I don't know. I was just like looking on Pinterest recently of things to do in the summer with your kids. But it's like, can you like think about what red vegetables and fruits we could put on our plate, what orange, and so on and so forth, and just like bringing in that like vitality, right? Like when I think of like eating good food, I also think of like energizing the vitality of my being. And you can even picture that, like picture the nutrients, almost like little glittery sparkles in your body, filling you, healing you, sustaining you. So when you are doing these tasks and we put that beauty spin on it, doesn't it feel better? Like, doesn't it versus like me saying, okay, like eat your meal, like thinking of the nutrients and what they're doing for you, like all of this stuff. Like to me, it is just adding a little bit more magic to what can seem, like I said, kind of dull and boring, and maybe even at times feel frustrating and overwhelming, because I don't want to have to think about how many dinners I have to make every night, but I still do it, right? And when I do it, I also have to think about like the little girl me wanted this so badly, And so here I am doing this, and how lucky am I that I get to live out that dream. So in today, with this Venus energy, think about the areas of your day where you find yourself daydreaming. Because I think what happens is when we're bored, when we are not happy with the state of being that we are in, we start to daydream because we want more, we want differently. And then we realize that we're not having what's the item in those daydreams. And then we feel a sense of lack. Can you see how this spirals? Can you see how this like cycles? So with this, when we have those moments today, instead, can you be in that moment? Stop the daydream for a moment, be in it, and see like, how can I make this moment right now be honored for the time that I am spending and sharing with it? And maybe it's not every task that you do, but maybe it's some of them. And so in this week, I really hope that we are able to find these ways, because I think it will help us to not only live more presently, but live with a little bit more meaning too. Because when we're like rushing and moving from next thing to the next thing to the next thing, sometimes we get lost in the meaning a little bit. So can we do that? And, also too, you can always come back to the Tuesday and Thursday practices, because the loving kindness exercise we did on Tuesday is just so beautiful. It fills your heart space up, and it also extends that energy outward to others in need. And our Thursday energy is a great reset for your system to, create that foundation for yourself. And then just a reminder too, like the card on Wednesday, like how to become the fullest, most authentic version of you. And maybe that seeing things more beautifully is a part of being the most authentic version of you. I also wanted to announce that I am so incredibly excited to share that my Evolve Love space is open. It is a private Facebook group where there is support, there are thoughts, things about the episodes, there's resources, tips, all the things, and people of like minds sharing in this beautiful experience together. So if you want to join in, the link is in my bio on my Instagram at _evolve love, and my Virgo newsletter, which is coming out in a little bit. I think, is it next week it comes out? Yeah, I think it's next week. It will have all the details of what more I'm going to be offering with the Evolve Love space, because there's more. There's always more, right? There's more coming, and I'm so excited to support you in your evolution. And I'm so grateful to you all for being here, and I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I really look forward to checking back in with you next week.